right, baby. Yeah, why you mad? I got a bag, bro. Name hot in these streets, no Tabasco. But I'm so stuck, that's a fact, yo. And if you think I'm frontin', you can run it back, yo. Go and run it back. You know that I run it. Everything you wanna do, I already done it. And I got your little boo telling me she love me. I got this one, that one. Damn, it's gonna be a long night. Yeah. You know. I said, damn, it's gonna be a long night. Yeah, let's go. Look. I told Shorty drop it for a real one. Yeah. Go ahead and pop it, let me feel some. Do it for the boy with a bag now. Movie star money making everybody act out. I don't lie to these women. If I want them, then I tell them. Don't get fly for these women. I was born with these propellers. All my haters cannot beat me, so I call them acapellas. See, I'm only getting better. You only get jealous. You know that I run it. Everything you wanna do, I already done it. And I got your little boo telling me she love me. I got this one, that one. Damn, it's gonna be a long night. You know, I got this one, that one. Damn, it's gonna be a long night. Yeah. MD. JPB. You already know, baby. Yeah. I said, I already done it. Everything you wanna do, I already. You know that yeah. I said, you know that yeah. Damn, it's gonna be a long night.
Yo, how's it going, everyone? Look at the chat, it's going crazy already. Welcome to the ImPERium crossover Hate League, the PMCO League. We started with 36 teams, I believe, and we are down to 16 teams. We have 4 days of finals. Let's go through the team list that we have. We've got so much viewers in the chat, and we'll go through why in a bit, because we've got some exciting bits on top of the 500 euros cash prize that we have. In Team 3, we have Hate Gaming. Team 4, we have 2 Easy. Team 5, we have 4 Romanian Men. Team 6, Arcred. Team 7, Bloodline. Team 8, Fazer Clan. Team 9, we have GSG Europe. Team 10, New Era. Team 11, Panda. Team 12, we have Qodex. Team 13, we have Team Pain. Team 14, we have ScrimFarm. Team 15, Lakonostra Power. Team 16, Rexpect Esports. Team 17, we have Team Warlords. Last but not least, we have the Unicorns of Love. All of these teams fought their way through, and is a crazy amount of top teams we have here. All tier 1, all pro teams. And this is the prime time for them to get this best practice in before the PMCO 2021 spring split. And it's going to be crazy. We've seen a lot of crazy action, clutches, everything, as we have these teams finalizing the roster as well coming into the new season. I'm just looking forward to them fragging it out like crazy tonight. And of course, look at the chat, it's going mental right now, because for the team that has the best supporting, how should I say this, the best cheering team, I should say. So if you are supporting your team, go all out for it, because that will help them to get that 50 extra euro for that prize. So you can definitely do your part here for your favorite team as we have this game starting now. Let's bring ourselves over to this game screen. This is game right here. We have 4 games tonight. Game 1, Erangel, this good old map that we all love. We have this plane path going through just off the eastern side of Georgia Pool, through that western bridge into the military base island. So it's a slightly western plane path, so we'll need to see how these teams play this. I know teams like ScrimFarm like heading towards Lipovka, so the teams that like dropping to the eastern side of the map will have to adapt a little bit, or just find those early vehicles to make it work for them. Seems like we have one team of trio. Let's find out which one that is. That is going to be Unicorns of Love, otherwise we have 15 other full squads. First teams off the plane, we have Arcred going for that Zaki drop. They used to go towards like Kameshki, if my memory serves me correctly, but that is an adaptation coming from them. Warlords heading towards the shooting range area in Georgia Pool, South Georgia Pool I should say. In the buildings part, compounds bit, we have Team Pain, and we have New Era in the South Georgia Pool crates. A split drop over the Gatka area from Unicorns of Love, South GSG Europe, with a new clan tag actually, Rafik, and the rest of the strong squad is over Quarry right now. Panda like going to Primosk, and that will be their choice as well. Look at this early action. We already have that 1 kill going over to Hate Gaming, because they're going to contest this with Lakonostra Power. Nothing new there, and that will be the first kill of the game. I'll keep my main screen on here. Let's have a look at the rest of the map for Romanian Men. Going for those coastal combos. Nothing new for them. Fazer Clan in Pachinki. But look at what is going on. ScrimFarm with Qodex in the area. Icy's gone. Got run over by a car. And the Too Easy also fighting Bloodline, and that is going to be a military base action. I wouldn't expect that one. I think both of these teams didn't drop here earlier. Look at Kano just bleeding out now, and that will be him gone. And that is Bloodline down to 3 players pretty early. Too Easy want to contest this. I know Too Easy dropped here before, and they like going to Novo, but they adapted. So that's, yeah, 1-0. So Too Easy with the upper hand. Respect going to Novo, no surprise there. And look at this congested area over Rozhok and school. Oh my eye. Qodex holding school and apartments right now, pushing ScrimFarm out of the area. And that will be some early kills coming through. So that is Bloodline losing 1. ScrimFarm losing 1, same for Lakonostra Power. And we will have this first circle heading towards the eastern side of the map, and that is not complementing the plane path. So if these teams need to play that safe early game, this is the time to grab that car and just move over there as soon as possible. And let's head back over to Hate Gaming, because that is Lakonostra trying to return some favor. Swave is not right now. It's going to be a bit of a crazy action. The second one comes through. That is 2. No, actually just 1 knock. Swave is still up right here. Lakonostra holding that position. Senzo on that top floor. Miki is just going to push it, but look Look at that drop shot from Senzo. Beautiful work, just outplaying that one. And he will just finish Mihi there. That is Hate Gaming, losing the IGL pretty early. This type of early fight can go either way. It comes down to the knowledge of the map. The tactics come through from that knowledge is important as well. Look at that one, the Taker in military base, taking out another one of the Bloodline players. And that will be Beast still in this one. Fox and Beast holding that coastline close to the river. Swave is in proximity to Senzo, trying to grab some more audio cues maybe, but the side pressure can come in to stab Swave from the back. Alicio got picked up there, so we'll continue this as a 3v3. Rexpect will have a lot of early priority there, but I think Alicio saw Swave there all along, and that will be another one of Hate Gaming going down. And Beast is slowly healing up. Not a lot of meds in these contested drops, sometimes really down to those luck. And Fox is trying to get the crazy off angle or just onto the bridge, going for a retreat maybe, and that is them maybe letting the side of Swave go. Let's have a look at these early rotations. Bloodline still fighting right there for Romanian Men, starting to make those movement, and that will be 2 gone for Hate Gaming. The rest will be retreating, and this is too easy. Continuing that crazy action in early game, Rexpect will get picked up by the teammate, but the rest of Bloodline is, I'm saying, gone? That is them gone. We just missed that out. I'm so sorry, guys, especially if you're the fans. We know Bloodline has those crazy fans in the chat tonight. Sorry that we missed out that bit of action. 2 fights happening at the same time. They will have time to come in the next game to show themselves again. Seems like round 1 will go over to too easy over military base, but they didn't go down without some fight. They took that 1 kill, but we all know what Bloodline can do. Very strong team, Kapahara, etc. Experience in PMCO and EMEA. We still have another Erangel game. I believe that will be game 4, so they will be here maybe for some round 2 action. ScrimFarm pulling away from that contested area after losing 1 pretty early. These trio will get this compound off to the northern side of Mansion. Pretty strong compound, 360 view. You just need to input, how should I say this, like sufficient spot to protect your vehicles as well, so that's very, very important. Arcred now moving on that northern part of the river, I should say the ground to the north of that river. Quite a few teams rotating right now. We have Arcred rotating, Team Warlords are also doing that, pulling away from Zaki and Georgiapol area. We have Team Pain, New Era also trying to move through that northern part of the map. And the Hate got pushed away, so that's Beast trying to rotate as well. Seeing if there's any other early action, but seems like some of GSG Europe will be slowing down a little bit. Panda will still be looting up Unicorns of Love as well. And this is Hate Gaming trying to catch some people on rotation. Fox with a bit of a cheeky one. Mid-rotation will take out 1, grabbing the 2nd kill of the game. But Rana from 4 Romanian Men got knocked as they were on that rotation. Beast trying to scout around, just driving in between several teams right now. That is New Era in the area, trying to stop this rotation coming from Beast. Center position now held by 4 Romanian Men, Fazer Clan. ScrimFarm have a good position. Qodex still wants to play around that. Oh my god, that is Beast losing 1 tire on the buggy. Those back tires are so important for buggy's maneuver. You lose so much mobility once that gets shot out. And that is Beast just leaving that one, running for his life. Luckily, he'll get his first aid of the game. Has absolutely no boost, only 3 bandages. So he's got a spot still in the circle, not quite center, but this will do for now. the Warlords are also fighting. Let's bring ourselves over there. That is them clashing with Team Pain right now around this gas station. That is Sen's losing his life, down to 2 players for the Warlords. Yes, yet to get a kill though. So Dale and Backfire will just have to retreat away from this one. Still some grounds for them to play, particularly on the northeastern side of this Phase 1 circle. But look at the center zone here around just this mansion area and shelter, getting more and more congested as time goes. Too easy will rotate through the western bridge. Panda wants a slow early game, tanking the blue, going from Primos along that western road now to Georgiapol. That is going to be a very wide rotation, and one step ahead of them with the same idea is Unicorns of Love now into the Saverni area, just passing through one of the 2 remaining members of Hate Gaming there. Jose parking that car. We've got some pretty decent plays from Fazer Clan through the past few days of semi-finals as well, so yet to see them to show up once more. So GSG Europe now got a position to the north of farm on that plateau there. Qodex still hanging around school and apartments area. Same for ImPERium, has not moved away from where they dropped. Team Pain now crossing into the S9 Poliana area. But look at these few teams. 1, 2, 3, 4 teams around that hill part of the map to the south of Stalba. We have Warlords there. We have New Era already set up there. Coming in, maybe to scout their position as well, are the Unicorns. And but that is... Let's not forget that Unicorns of Love played this game as a trio, and that will be one of them getting knocked. Hate Gaming not scared to frag, although they are down to 2 players. They say, come with us Unicorns, let's do the same thing, let's both play as a duo. As we catch that Phase 2 circle, it will be somewhat center, putting a lot of those coastal lines out of play, basically. So the center is over this Yasnaya fields, and those compounds between Yasnaya and Skull. So those compounds very, very strong. A lot of dips around of potential tactical split coming from these teams. So let's see how they play this, as we know these tier 1 teams. The second the circle pop, they will be in their vehicles to move. And that is Caster from Rexpect Esports trying to do that, but already trying to stop all these rotations. Going through the Yasnaya fields are the full squad of 4 Romanian men. 1 in the compound and 1-2. 1-2-1 split, I believe. Aim on this, feeling a little bit of some shots there. Rexpect got a spot in those new dips of the Erangel 2.0, and that will be Caster living for another day. Nacho now split away and trying to maybe pinch the split formation of the 4 Romanian men. Nacho, Papi, and Bardot will rotate through the other way, and that is Caster waiting for a time to rotate once again. Maybe there will be more shots landing on him, and that will be the case, but he is slowly getting out of render distance, and that will be Rexpect into a new position in this somewhat off-center compound here. Unicorns of Love will play that northern part of that river there. We all know that is a strong spot for scouting. Some dips, as we can see, these boulders and rocks, maybe a very good one for them to hold for now, given their duo. Problem is, it's so hard to park a car without being known for a position, and that will be Savage X leading the way to move for a different spot. Yeah, it seems like these compounds might be a little bit better. Got some OP dips around it as well. I'll show you what I mean. This is what I mean. This one is a very strong spot competitively. One way to park your cars and hide a player in here for some tactical splits and spoiler play. And are we done around the Rozhok school area yet, guys? Yes. And that will be Ellen Power replying to my question, saying yes, that will be not too far from the drop locations though, but they will get to a compound with more priority to stop rotations from the bridge, and this will be the parts that I'm talking about. This bridge and this area pretty strong. Some other strong dips to this side as well. Just following that direction of the camera's movement, that will be a lot of a strong spot that these teams can still pick. So we can see these teams setting up their positions. The only team outside of the circle right now is the duo of Hate Gaming. Other than that, every team's found a spot in the circle. Panda, I did mention them tanking the blue a little bit. That is the playstyle shown through this league. But they know how to time those well. And the problem with late rotation, of course, is for the circle to get more and more congested, and it's harder and harder to get through into a center position without getting punished. But Panda is a very, very experienced team, and they seem to have been able to do that pretty successfully. And I almost forgot to... No, I was wrong. Too Easy is also coming in, now only around Severny. But they are fine to play this game a little bit slower because they've lost one member, but they also have the security coming from those early squad wipe. The first team out of the lobby, let's not forget, is Bloodline, that got taken down by Too Easy in Sosnovka military base. And that will be a lot of momentum. See how they come into the next one. Hate Gaming going a little bit further, getting a little bit more resources, I should say, in Kameshki. And given it's so far away from the playing path, it will be fine for them to pick up those extra resources as well. That will be very much needed for them going into the late game. A new era in a position that won't have much contest, I should say, and it can be a little bit tricky. You need to find a way to come into the more center part of the map if there is a sudden shift, but we are still waiting onto that one. Let's have a look at Fazer Clan and their well thought out split, I should say. And this is the 360 compound I talked about. They don't want to just hold this. Seems like Prepot, the scout, and will hold one. Kose is now coming back to join Prepot. Juzo with the roof play, and Zusi using a little bit of a small hill to find that position. And what the hell, man? Look at that shit. It's going to be so harsh on these teams. We have a western shift, guys. The center is Rozhok and the compounds around it. School and apartments still in play. Who would have thought those late rotation from ImPERium would actually place them in the circle in a very strong spot? Same for Panda, because a lot of these teams will avoid charging in through the position held by maybe Qodex and for Romanian Men right now, and they want to go for a wider rotation from the northern half of the map, and that means they may have to come in on that anti-clockwise wide rotation, right? They may have to go through Panda, and that is a position where Panda can hold and farm a little bit. Look at these teams just moving straight away. And that is in the area for Romanian Men, has a spot in the circle in the prime position on that gas station to stop these teams trying to cross this bridge, and that is more than one team trying to do the same thing. Rexpect trying to rotate the split from Arcred, working in their favor, have an opening knock onto Papi of Rexpect Esports. A good thing is they've got a spot in the circle. The other bad thing is they've suffered the second knock somewhere, but that is a 2-2 split from them, and that can be a pretty easy revive if they held it well. Bardot will need to take down that vehicle to stop themselves from getting punished from that vehicle explosion. And look at these teams trying to control this side, and they will be held there, a lot of their positions known. But look at that northern part of the circle. Now, I did talk about that wide rotations these teams may want to come from to avoid that bridge and river area. Look at so many teams doing that same thing. New era is already there. Of course, more center, we have Panda. But look at all these teams trying to come in with the same idea. Too Easy is here losing one player on this rotation. We'll have a spot, but behind them, we have so many teams trying to do the same thing. Fazer Clans coming in. Unicorns of Love have the same idea. The trio of ScrimFarm is also approaching from the northern side. Hate Gaming's duo is also coming into that area. Oh my, yeah, it's going to be so crazy. New era trying to hold this for As long as they can, we'll hear the rotation coming out from Too Easy. That will be a beautiful knock onto Reflect. That is Furia trying to run for his life right now. The Buggy losing one tire, the second tire. Oh my god, we talked about how important those are. Furia is in trouble right now. Too Easy, after taking out a team at 16 place, they are facing that pressure and may go out at 15. Look at Furia with his parkour, with his kung fu, with his agility. He hopes he can bring his real legs into the game, but the character will make it through and find a tree as cover. And now we have the third party coming in. That is a knock by Hate Gaming in the area. Fazer Clan is already here. New Era will not find this position as comfortable as they think. The return knock goes through from Vaneska onto Beast, and that will be the whole of Hate Gaming gone. The team that will go out at 15th place is actually Hate Gaming, but look at this position right here. That is why you have to assess the terrains. You can only use it for so long. As it gets more and more congested, that is 2 not onto New Era. There's not going to be easy, but we have another fight right here on this northern side. Both teams needing to move. That is Unicorns of Love, the duo, facing the full squad of Fazer. And that will be 1 knock. That will be 2 knock for Unicorns of Love. Savage X got knocked though. And look at Fresh with no health. And that will be no signs of life. No more chance for Unicorns to get a further position in this game 1. Fazer Clan will take that one before they need to rotate onto the next shift. The gods of PUBG is playing with these players right now. First a western hot shift, and how about a eastern one right now? It will go back to this Yasnaya bridge as well as the other bridge close to Rozhok, and that will be a lot of terrain play. These vehicles will be so important. And in the circle with the prime position is Team Pain right now. The full squad up still. They've got 1 team kill so far, and this is also the issue. They have a very good split right now, but as it gets more and more congested, the split may not be in their favor, and all these teams will be still stuck on the other side of the river, as you see on the right side on the screen there, and those will be a lot of run and gun action. And look at Wait there, just say, sit down guys, and that is a beautiful knock onto Eliseo of Lakonostra Power. Danny holding a further spot from behind, but will feel some shots from everywhere. That is GSG Europe coming in with a good spot with some high hills from the southwestern side of this new circle. ScrimFarm got themselves a compound. Panda, still a 4-team up, has a position in the circle established by 2 players. Katal still needs to come in, but look at Fazer Clan on their rotation. Let's not waste any more time as they grab themselves the 6th kill of the game. New Era is not going to have a good one as they go out. The 13th place will be the conclusion for them in this game 1. Juzo and the rest of Fazer Clan, although they've been rotating and fragging at the same time, they still need to find a good spot. And there's Prepot holding that little bit of how do you even call this, guys? A satellite tower, maybe? And they will find some beautiful shots onto Too Easy, and that is Furia and Too Easy out at 12th place. And this is Team Pain also in here to deliver some pain as we bring ourselves over to there, having some trouble. Oh my, yeah, they have a spot, and but they will lose 2 players, Reflex and Lubomir is the name. Someone teach me how to pronounce that, please. It could be another language, as we have them still only those 2 in here for Team Pain, but only to find themselves the need to rotate into the next one. 11 teams, 37 players. Warlords lost 2 as well. A similar situation to Team Pain, feeling the pain of losing their players, more so the pain of needing to rotate, backfire, waiting for time to strike with their 4 times on the DP. Fazer Clan has the momentum, has the number of players, but they don't have a position in the circle. The only team in the circle is Qodex. Look at those splits right there. Fowler with this position split from his team, trying to take care of all these teams on the eastern side by himself, but I'm pretty sure the defensive angle is guarded by the rest of this team. So Qodex is actually in here to win this. We also want to look at the side of Rexpect. They need to come in to get a better spot. They have to cross the road, but they may just be sandwiched by the 1-3 split by 4 Romanian men upon crossing this one. So I believe the side of AIM is just waiting for this to happen. They still got some. I tell you, I've got a play in my head that maybe Rexpect can use. Just use aggressive smokes. Throw it onto this watchtower, throw it onto the gas station, and they will be able to come in. But I spoke too soon. That is Arcred. Didn't forget about them holding that bridge position. Just off that bridge, they're causing Rexpect a lot of trouble earlier. Rexpect still up as a 4 team, so we'll give them that. But that is not going to be an easy one for them. Nacho will get picked up, but the zone is now coming in. They are just going for those cars. 1-2 players in it. I think that might be just enough. Let's not be too crazy with that because everyone can shoot them and doesn't want to onto them. Papi is losing so much health. He's living with his own head, but no, we'll go down as well. We'll get flushed straight away. Caster, they are correct to not charge in like the rest of their teammates are. They are going to make this very, very hard. Fowler on himself, trying to stop multiple teams at the same time. That is Caster knocked as well. 4 Romanian men also need to rotate. We'll look at that fight, but also Fowler stopping for that to happen. 2 knock onto 4 Romanian men. It's going to be crazy right here on this southeastern side. Oh my god, losing 2 is 4 Romanian men. That's the full team gone for Rexpect. Oh my god, and Fowler, with the job done, he would just come back here to support Zarakiri. Zarakiri is split from the rest of the team. With 1 smoke, they can maybe pick this up. Qodex is in here to win this, but what is Unique doing? He is using the car tactic. He is there to shoot through the water, and that is Fowler just making it work, and they will still be in here. In the blink of an eye, we've got down to 7 teams, and let's look at the number of teams. We've got 4 Romanian men still. We've got 2 full squads being GSG Europe. Yet to get a kill. Qodex is still in here. And we talked about sort of Fazer Clan. I think we missed some action on the other side as well. Like, that circle has dictated the pace of the game. And this, look at them trying to come in action. Almost got the run over. And he would actually go through all of them with full level 3 gear. We'll be able to send it into River. That is amazing news for ScrimFarm. Fowler and Zarakiri is still in there. This is maybe the time for Qodex to maybe grip up a little bit as they try to hold this team pin. And Dexter, one of the 2 remaining members, need to make something happen. That is the blue zone chewing them up. That is Dexter trying to put some more action before putting some pain into his enemy before he goes down. And we are down to 6 teams. We have ScrimFarm, the duo is in here. Qodex, the 4 team still. GSG Europe still waiting to strike. Also in here, the last player of 4 Romanian men actually slowly going out at the blue, I believe. And Arcred is still holding strong. 1 more for Lakonostra, I think, will be Danny. Yeah, so we have those 2 solos, but AIM maybe outside of the circle. And this can be a win for GSG Europe. I know they have those slow early game, but this position allows them, with that high ground, they can have massive control over this area. The person who can spoil this is Danny. He's being so patient. With that position, he will just... Does he even have a spot in the circle? He needs to move further in. And that is him needing to rotate at the prime time to change this. And that is Qodex losing 1... One getting not right there is that them gone as well. Yes, that is weight gone. So Qodex down to 3 players. And the ScrimFarm will play that low ground there. Hackshot Unique still in here. AIM will be going down soon. I don't think he can make it to top 4. And those, unless he's got so many first aid, that won't be that won't matter. But Fowler tells you how it's like to play spoiler. He was playing that on that west eastern side, and now he's here to stop the rotation. The second knock come through onto Lau, and the Lito trying to rotate through this. Fowler causing incredible damage to the rotating players of GSG Europe. Levi need to run in, and bear in mind Fowler is still there, and that is some more. But Angelito with the reflex will return that one, but the support comes in from Zarakiri, and that is 3 knocked onto GSG Europe. Oh my god, it's a disaster for them. They went out at 5th position, and they're only now in here alongside 3 other teams. Qodex, Fowler, you freaking beast with those basically 3 knocks all by himself. He will get picked up now. Unique is also knocked for ScrimFarm. So if they don't get these revives, that will be a 2v2v3. And do bear in mind Danny's still in here, but the first 8 will be going lower and lower, and it can be a matter of time before he loses this one. And that will be him trying to do some damage to Arcred before he goes down. He has single-handedly change the dynamics of this fight. That is the power of the latecomers. That is the power of spoiler and solo players. Look at Arcred, the last one there is on the outside, and that is ScrimFarm gone. Oh my god, Qodex will be so happy with this one. This might be just a game for Qodex. The last player of Arcred is outside of the circle. Saraki is coming in to take every kill point they can get. They don't know that this last player in the circle is knocked, and they will actually just lead it to bleed out or miss out on one kill point there. And the last player is there. He's got 9 first 8 though. We've seen this before, guys. Let's just slowly, okay, don't spoil this. It can happen. I've seen this before in PMGC with the healing strat. When the players are so focused on finding that one last guy, maybe this can be the 2-piece coming from Penchik to clutch this for Arcred. He's still got some distance to travel. I think that will be the only plan that he can go for. And look at those beats coming through. Sick beat coming from Qodex. Fowler and Sarakiri may be very confident on this one, but don't blink. Penchik is looking for that aggro, using that 3rd-person peek as he's putting his second last first 8 right here. He gets some angle. He has the sightlines. He will be using the last one, then he will strike. It may be possible, we are not sure, but that is him done. And he will pull out the gun, and that will be 1 knock. He needs this one quick. He just won the kill point, seems like. Can he get it? Can he get it? And the answer is no. That will be Qodex game to win as they take the first chicken dinner of our first day of this PMCO League Finals. Qodex with, what was that, 12 kills? Oh my god. Arcred. That could have been different, I think. But Danny definitely spoiled that before going down, and that is Arcred taking the 2nd place, and with 8 kills, ScrimFarm didn't get any kills this game, but those rotations end up working out for them. That is still 10 position points as they take those 3rd place. Will be a very solid one to start off with to continue to prove themselves more. Lakonostra Power with 6 kills and the 4th position. GSG Europe. That's why it's so painful to watch that one. It was so close. They had a power. They have a position to win it, but it's so hard to predict with that dip that's held by Qodex down there. They can just peek and shoot with that ridge line. So that is GSG Europe taking a 5th place with 1 kill. For Romanian Men, made it to 6th place with 4 kills, choking out of the blue. Very hard. There's so many teams coming in onto that western side of that phase 5 and 6. Team Pain with the 7th place and 4 kills. Panda took an 8th position with no kills. Fazer Clan with 9 kills before they went out at 9th place. At 10th position, we have Warlords with no kills. 11th place, Rexpect with no kills. Too Easy had that squad wipe early and will make it to 12 with 4 kills. At 13th place, we have New Era with 4 kills. The trio from Unicorns of Love, unfortunately, would go down at 14th place with no kills. Hate Gaming went out at 15th, lost 2 players early. They will end this one with 3 kills. 1 kill from Atheist of Bloodline, but unfortunately will lose that contested drop over at Sanhok military base. They will have to come back stronger. The fans are in here for them to make it, to give them all the motivation they need. So let's not blink. Stay around as we go on a short break. I'll see you all in Game 2 on the desert of Miramar. I will be right back. Hey, welcome back. Let's get some Miramar action going, as we have this. This game actually only have 15 teams. I don't know which team we're missing. Let's have a look, but we have 15 full teams, and the one that is missing is... I don't even know. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm trying to find out right now. That will be Team 7, and that is... Oh, bear with me. That is going to be Bloodline. Bloodline's not in this one. I don't know what's going on, but let's not affect ourselves to enjoy this game too. We have this plane path going from the junkyard area towards Valdemar. It's a slightly southern path. Not too harsh though, not too harsh. I've seen something worse. I've seen a lot worse, and that is Rexpect Esports going to the usual drop spots over at El Arsahar. Heading towards Impala area, we have Warlords and Arcred. Hate Gaming with the split around the La Bendita area. Venus Generalis and Graveyard. We have Fazer Clan with the 4x1 split. ImPERium heading towards Hacienda del Patron right now. They might be going further, I'm not sure. But the side of Unicorns of Love is definitely dropping Chumacera. We've seen that again and again, so that is nothing new. And they might be contesting this with another team. Let's have a look, and that is going to be Gucci. That is Agon landing just next to New Era, and this can be crazy early action. And look at those sword off just pulling it up right there, and that is some AK shots coming through as well. SKS against AK, who will win? The south side of Chumacera. Oh my yay. This high ground, this hillside is what teams like to drop because they can overlook the northern parts if they if there's another team there. But that is Gajognock, so oh my god, just trying to zigzag through there, but they didn't quite see the parachutes well enough early, and that will be them having suffering the first knock off the game. Kit holding that angle is there to maybe stop it, but Agon is here for the flank. 50-50 when holding fresh on the other side. And where is the last player? Veneska might be far, very, very far. So we'll just... He can still come in to change this, and the 50-50 one's trying to pull off this 1v1 against Fresh. And he will drop down. He will actually get the side angle. And look at who's going to win. If both of them with a sliver of health. But the drop from Fresh will be enough. And that will be the second kill going over to Unicorns of Love. Tough start for New Era. And let's look at the rest of the map. El Pozo area of Team Pain. ScrimFarm close to the area as well. Valdemar, too easy is there. They actually dropped South Island. Panda. They've dropped it a few times now. I can't imagine really taking that drop seriously, and in higher level play they can just get punished heavily by doing that. So around the area is Qodex. Maybe they had that idea to fight them early. In Los Leones, the western side, we have 4 Romanian men, but that's a matter. We have some more action here. Carrillo with a kill onto Ket, returning some firepower. He's got a lot of balls. He's got a lot of aggression, but he's got a lot of meds that he didn't use, and that will be the third one going down for New Era. Unicorns of Love will have that strong one. Strong start, 2 kills, and but seems like El Pozo is also busy, and the rest of the drops we have basically seen, and this phase 1 circle is going to be an eastern circle. Phase 1, a lot of water in play, and complement the first half of the playing path, I should say. So these teams around El Pozo will have quite some distance to travel. Hackshot, the new member coming in from the MENA scene to join ScrimFarm, the first one to go down, unfortunately, against Team Pain. El Pozo, such a huge city with a lot of different type of buildings, dips and hills around, high ground, you name it, like all the types of buildings you can find in the city like El Pozo. But that also means there's a lot of chance for these teams to out-knowledge, okay, and outplay the enemies. Team Pain now sending to one side. Unique can hear that with that M762 in hand, he can spoil this rotation, but with that distance, pretty hard to spray down with the M762. And seems like that is New Era gone, as we see Veneska trying to rotate further, but will get taken down by GSG Europe. So the first team out of the game is New Era. Don't know why I have that brain fart there. And yeah, these teams need to make their mind up. I tell you which bit, okay, that I'm also looking at, guys. It is around this island. These teams need to rotate out, but there are 2-3 teams around the area. I think Too Easy would go for a more direct path, so avoiding the southern coastline. But Qodex is here to stop the side of Panda. But if whoever wins this fight as well, when they cross the other side, GSG Europe might be there to stop them from the south of Los Leones. So this is Qodex trying to make an earlier rotation, I think, and trying to contest this may not be in their favor. The Dacia as well, it's not. I thought it's quite easy to drive, so they have to slowly position this. Imagine being punished for this small bit of mistake here. That would suck. And Fazer Clan now with some contest with Hate Gaming. Hate Gaming already lost one. Prepot pulls up with the micro Uzi and will challenge Miki for that one. But the surround formation, Suzy here with a quick kill as well. Just bringing that buggy in from behind. And that will be Prepot getting knocked as well. And the rest of Hate Gaming is only... When I say the rest, it's a solo, and that is Fox just somewhere outside of this area, can't be here to trade or anything. And in the same area now we have ImPERium in here, Papi, and the rest of Rexpect Esports will come in to join this fight. Papi losing a little bit of health there, seeing Eliseo, but the support is in. Bartle with the brilliant cover fire. That would be a straight flush as well. ImPERium is angry. Danny will shoot them from the hill. Same for Senzo. The old teammates from MVP Gaming is there to provide that cover fire. And Nori trying his best to bait these shots out. Now, Fazer can change the dynamics of this fight if they want to come in to join this. So Rexpect got themselves a little bit pinched by drawing themselves in here, crashing very aggressively. And that will be them losing a vehicle as well. Very important resources going into the mid-late game. Nacho can maybe stop this, but he is quite far away. So let's see how he rotates around this. If he can get a very, very good spot, he can be safe from the fire of the two off-angle players on the hill. By ImPERium, but that is going to be them trying to make something work. One knock onto each side, and that is Inori gone. But Rexpect will hold this one strong. The compound contest. So within here, the member of ImPERium is gone. Second one for them. So Senzo and Danny will have to decide how long they want to hold this. Given they're still pretty center circle, they can hold that for a while. But in these standoff long range, so hard to finish a kill, even if you get a brilliant knock. So hard to finish unless the other team like screws up. And let's go back to ScrimFarm, because they've lost 2 already, still stuck around El Pozo. That is going to be a very hard one, but Spectra says I can still frag and will punish one player. Onto Team Pain there, but Icy got knocked as well, so that is Spectra needing to run for his life. And ScrimFarm got some position points last game, but this one, they really needed to show better than this. Well, we've got a few more days to go. That's not the end. Team Pain will lose that one. Now the third kill come through. Safe to say they are the kings of El Pozo, but not a city to hold for much longer. They need to make that rotation. Qodex retreat away from that southern island. Like we saw earlier, I did voice my concern there. But what's concerning as well is these teams trying to push Spectra. Spectra has a brilliant first knock, double knock, but that will not be enough. It was so close. We need to give Spectra that credit, though. That is a brilliant double. The drop shot almost came through, but ScrimFarm will go out at 14th place. Team Paint continue as a trio as we bring our camera back to the main parts of the map. Panda now away from that southern island, crossing the bridge. Now another small congestion here, seems like. Too Easy with 2 kills right now. Very close to them, we have Unicorns off Love. That lost one player, I think, early. I'm not quite sure. Let's go back. That is them. Yeah, they lost Ket early, but they also have 2 team kills. But this is Ticker leading the way, rotating into the circle, and that will be them doing that. Let's bring ourselves to some center zone action. Rana in here for 4 Romanian men, controlling one of the middle compounds with a lot of overlook over this open field. That might be Dexter and Sushi finding some angles onto Prepot there, but he would not peek any further. Furia from Too Easy will go down when he's trying to rotate, and that is going to be a clash between the Pandas and Unicorns of Love. They tried to kill one on rotation, and they will also clash into the second team. Ligne with the burning car. The pickup will leave another day. Ligne will just made it through to that ridge line. Savage X and Fresh needs to carry this as a duo. I think it will be very hard to pick up Agon there. Savage X is still trying to peek there. The last time I saw Unicorns get a great game on Miramar, it was from Ked and Savage X. I believe when they know when to pull away and when to not risk another peek. But they are confident here still, wanting to stop the rotations coming through. The full team of Panda, though, can win this. It's a 2v4, but they keep challenging that. Katao trying to go into that smoke for rotation, but Savage X will pull away because, after all, we've got more rotations to make. That is going to be another Eastern shift. I would love to see it to go towards those Eastern Islands. I don't think I've ever seen it. I think I've played one classic game that I had that type of end circle, but other than that, not so much. And what we also saw from the kill feed earlier was Respect with some punishment onto ImPERium. They've lost 2 players early, Lakonostra, and they are still in this, I believe. Or am I wrong? No, I'm right. They're still in this one. And a lot of positions held by these teams. Fox the Solo has a position. Warlord is the most coastal, has the most coastal compound, I should say. Is that English, guys? Is that English? And this is not done, dude. Like, Unicorns are not done. They knock Katao, and that is the aggression coming from Savage X and Fresh. And what? And they will get the revive onto Agon as well. This is a 3v3. I think Panda screwed that one up a little bit. I know there's suppressive fire, cover fire coming through from Unicorns to maybe stop their rotation around that. But to stop that revive from coming through will be so important for them. We have Kissed here now trying to push the split member. Fresh using that tree. His position will be revealed and he will get knocked down by the joint effort of XT and Kissed here, and that will be Unicorns picking up one but losing another. Savage X and Agon now still around that bridge. How often do we even see fights around there? Too Easy now has a spot in the circle. Now coming in is Ticker, may run into the Warlord soon. So there's still so much strong position. I think these teams had, like most of the teams that we see here, right? So to the southeastern side of Minas Generalis, or I should say between that and Impala, we've got a lot of strong positions there. But these teams can go further east with some more high ground to take a stronger spot, really, for this new circle. But because of the nature of those compounds, it's very hard, with those teams knowing each other's presence and position as well. They don't want to risk it, right? If we rotate out of there, that might be some risk that they are taking. So they would just play it slow, hold the oak compound that is still in the circle. Let's not get over ambitious. And knowing conservative and safe play is part of the basics that you have to get down. before playing aggressive, I should say. And so we will leave those teams there for now. GSG Europe trying to find a new spot. They've got 1 kill so far, and the full team still in here. And let's look at the teams on the outside. Yes, just still going to be Unicorns and Panda. Otherwise, teams have found a spot. Team Pain still need to come in through El Azhar, but they are not far by any means. Let's see how they play this one. They've damaged each other's vehicles, they kill each other, they damage each other's gears and meds. So what's next, guys? Just going on foot now, seems like. So unless we see them pop up on kill feed again, we will just go back to the center zone, and just a lot of strong spots for these teams. And this is the type of circle that test not just the basics of team mechanics, team fight mechanics, comms, you know, communications, etc., but the exact knowledge of the exact grid and position of the map. Those where you don't see the big words of the city, you know, like this is more hay bale, the OP hay bale, OP rock, OP tree, OP dip. This is the time to showcase that type of knowledge, as we have some split coming from Qodex with a sweet spot. I do know this one, I'm not bragging, guys. I actually have played this in the scrim before, and got a win out of that. And ever since, I can't forget, because I just kept analyzing this bit as I was playing. It's not going to be a lot of crazy action coming through. Just need to check maybe the split from Fazer Clan and see how they are trying to play this. I think Prepot has a position next to the main road so that he can not just look around, of course, like with a different angle, but close to the main road to stop teams from rotating through that road is a very key one in this circle. So if teams really want to go through that open field, Prepot is in position to punish that as well. Some shots getting fired, and that will be Susie. They find some angles onto Rexpect there, I believe. Cheeky little roof play. And think, we are just waiting for this next shift, guys. That will dictate so much of that pace. Right now, every team's content, right? They're just like, fine, I will just hold there for now. How about now? We have the next shift. Ticker is almost, from too easy the duos, have a pretty good position on that coastline. I can't, of course, they may have to come back, but this shift means that a lot of these teams will just have to rotate straight away. Look at that go for Romanian Men moving, GSG Europe moving, Fazer Clan doing the same. All these teams outside, on that second that it takes, they will make that rotation. And this is where things can get a lot more interesting, guys. It will be a crazy one. Seems like the first one going down, getting punished on rotation is Endelito from GSG Europe for Romanian Men, driving through that red zone right now. Can change things, but I was taught by people, right, to not mention it too much unless it actually makes a difference. That is for Romanian Men. Made it to Impala safely, and now of course in there we have Warlord for the past circle and a half. Qodex is to the south side of Impala and will use the hills to make some get some information with that high ground, and that will be a very, very strong spot. But of course, sharing the similar idea for a while now as Warlords in the area, they instead of those buildings, because they got full information now. Looking down at you, look at all your cars, etc. Looking at Fowler from Qodex. They may just be doing that countdown right now. Lucci got another ang splits. Rexpect will play the northern side, and they almost missed that. Strictly speeding, like on no easy support coming from Qodex there. Driving in there might be a bad idea, and that is Lucci exploring it, paying the price of one buggy tire. Will he continue? My advice is no, but that is one more part to this formula, guys. If the rest of Qodex can provide that cover fire up that hill, maybe Lucci can grab this. And that will be, seems like Warlords more focused on the other teams coming into the area. Now we have GSG and close to them. Also, with some high ground upon high ground, like I always say, for Romanian Men has a spot, and the Warlock can just pick which side to peek and fight that as GSG losing 1-4 Romanian Men as they try to enter from the southern side of Impala. Qodex will get that pickup, and so yeah, I'm biting my tongue there for trying to come to conclusion too soon, and Unicorns of Love still in here, and Panda will find a new car and now sharing that coastline with Too Easy. So only need to wait for the Unicorns to come in to see how they play this. Team Pain lost one early as we saw in Alport, so now still in here and found a space, a little bit of a spot on that eastern coastline. I will just keep my eye on Warlord. Let's appreciate the high ground that they grab for themselves and what it can do for them. And the Lito from GSG Europe, the third one gone. They've already lost one player. Rafiq is the only one up on his feet. Qodex will get a little bit of breathing room. The Warlords have those beautiful card tricks to bring these buggies up here. And that is them trying to control this continuously. One more goes out for GSG, so that will be the last two in that smoke. Fox will just be patient. Not a single footstep should be given. Otherwise, you may just be hurt. Of course, they're not quite close yet, his enemies, but that type of discipline will need to come in. And what do I know? What do I know? I know nothing compared to the gods of PUBG because they want to get a crazy shift again. I should say 70% of Impala is out. The most importantly, Warlord's strong position is out as well. So they need to now get down those hills, okay, without getting punished, without losing any of their cars, without flipping them, etc., so that they can come into the new circle. It will be a slightly northern shift, putting more of the water out of the circle. In dead center right now we have Fazer alongside Team Pain. Fazer has some strong showing the past few days, that is no question. Also did so much last game as well. I believe they had 9 kills, and they're now here trying to hold this another set of compounds. Very tricky bits. A lot of parkour action can happen in here and to the north of Impala, but this position by Team Pain might be the equivalent, okay, to what Team Warlords had earlier. But in this new circle, Team Pain has one of the strongest spots. But let's not forget about Rexpect. They also have a pretty good one. Nacho with the priority onto one side of this. I don't think you can go higher than that, so that will only allow them to watch a very limited angle. But if these teams want to go for a wide rotation to the space here, that they can do, and that Rexpect is in position to maybe stop that. Warlord is now sending it. Let's look at Backfire, trying to find a spot in. That is all these teams trying to breach through for Romanian and having some issues as well against Fazer, but Warlords will make it through just about okay. Dexter knocked right now, will get picked up by Sushi. That is a good spot in the circle. We'll get that reset. It will get more and more congested. Look at all these teams trying to breach and come in from the south side. For Romanian Men, still leaving 2 behind to maybe play spoiler. Fox will just come in late, I'm guessing. Agon and Unicorns of Love finally coming in, and that will be almost Agon going down from the explosion, but he will find a spot there. But for how long is the question. Savagix is not here as well. Taker, although solo, will try to take a little... No, he's a duo, I'm sorry about that one, and they were still trying to fight this, and Issa can maybe spoil this if he can just stop swimming and get back onto the ground. And I can't even leave my eye, can't even look at anything else for too long. That is us missing on some good kills. That is the third one for Warlords. They are still in this one strong, but the new circle has popped. It will continue to shift towards the north. That is a very, very good chance for Rexpect and Team Pain to get a good amount of kills and a good position. Those hills once taken early, if you know the absolute limits of your third-person peek, you should be pretty safe for a good amount of time. I would bet that they both take top 5, and but I could be wrong. What do I know? I could be wrong. And Warlords now coming in, still got that full team now split around this area, trying to control is Fazer Clan. They did not reposition quick because it's also hard, so much distance to run and travel before they need to group up with their team, and that is a brilliant angle. A brilliant nade first off onto Sans, but that is also Susie getting punished for that position. The support is now coming in. Warlords will lose that one. Fazer still holding strong on these compound bits, but it will be very hard to breach these high ground. And Unicorns trying to rotate. Savage Agon still alive and will grab another car, actually. A fresh one to continue this. Or am I having a stroke? No, he's got a new car, so that will be very, very useful to the late game. And they can now reverse gatekeep the side of Too Easy. Team Pain with the good position. Let's see how they use this. There's Reflex actually split from the rest of the team to try to get more angles onto these compound parts of the circle. Still needing to come is for Romanian Men. Fowler needs to group up with Lucci and the rest of the team, but Caster with a brilliant shot. Like the AWM coming in handy, and that is GSG going out, I believe, at 10th position. AWM shots very strong for these late game. There's no more gear for you to grab, and to take out a helmet will be so strong. So it's such a huge advantage for them. Mandarin here from Arcred. They've got 4 kills and will lose 2 players earlier, and just using the smoke to buy some time because they know it's not going to be an easy entrance. Pretty open there, and that is Susie one step ahead, trying to stop rotations coming from the southern side, and that is Fazer Clan with a decent split, but the rest of them need to join up with Susie, and the route and the rotation towards him won't be easy at all. You can't really drive through that unless you're the best driver in the world and BMX and so. Otherwise, you might just be running through the crosshairs of these players on the high ground. This is Juzo showing you how it's done. So one way to protect yourself is, of course, hugging close to these mountains. So that will be Juzo making that rotation work. Koze will have to do the same against the high ground held by Rexpect. Looking very, very watching like a hawk. Caster has already gotten the 10th kill for his team. This AW in hand dealing massive damage. I need to learn how to interact with the chat a little bit as well. Like, I know it's going crazy in the chat. Everyone's trying to support their team, but if there's any Too Easy fans that might be heartbroken just then, just there, as they went out at 7th position, will be going down under the Blues' pressure. Team Pain now have to come in. They are breaching and pushing in from this eastern side. That will be them taking out of one of the Unicorns. The Savage will just be bleeding out, and that is Unicorns of Love taking a 6th place, and soon after that, Lucci from Qodex will go down as well. So we're down to 4 teams. We have the full team of Fazer, the trio, I want to say, for Team Pain exactly, and then a trio from Rexpect. So those are already 10 players. So we have a solo somewhere still, and that solo is Backfire from Warlords. Look at this circle now actually favoring Fazer Clan, but Bardot can really spoil this. His position is so sweet. He's got a good spot. He can guard the right rotation if Caster want to come through on that northern side. But Caster will just send in with the car, and he has the rich line to play, so they will just play that split. That is Pain actually feeling the pain from Fazer first before Rexpect even gets into the action. And I think this is the time for Caster to maybe strike pre-pots. Will be their 4th kill. And the 5th coming soon, I believe, as that second last player bleeds out maybe. So let's look at the last player from Team Pain. Anyway, is here. Too far from the team to grab any revives, but he has a spot. And the team already had 7 kills as I glitched myself into that hill. Sorry about that, guys. So it's going to be a 4v3 v1v1. Backfire needs to make this work. He's trying to come in, but those movements will be spotted as expected. And let's head over to this head-on action here. Caster has the M249 in him. The squad wiping gun is here, and he has the high ground. He's trying to jump on top. He knows that they're clumped. He's just trying to hit the spoiler from above, but he will be spotted from the side. That is going to be them not making it work. 2 knocked onto them, and that is part of the last one standing. Oh my god. That is a crazy one. I thought with some utilities and with some cover fire from Bardot, that will be the win for Rexpect, but they told me otherwise. Fazer Clan is in here to win this. They're pushing away. They will flush that one. They know it's a 4v1 right now. Do they even have the circle as well? I don't think they even want to wait. They're just going to push this full senders to take the last kill point. Taking this win with the 8 kill, shooting in that smoke. Bardot trying to maneuver around and will not be enough. And that is them taking the chicken dinner on Miramar. Fazer Clan with the 8 kill game. But look at Rexpect though. Gonna respect that one for sure. 13 kills, 2nd place. They used their position well, but I think it could have been their win, like that last play. It's too aggressive, I'd say. Just wait. Wait for them to push, or just don't give away more footsteps, then you can spoil it. Jumping on top of them was there's a very fine line between aggressive play and disrespectful play, guys. That is a line that I like to remind players that I know. And let's go into continue this results page. So 7 kills from Team Pain with a 3rd position. At 4th we have Warlords with 3 kills, Qodex with a 5th position with 1 kill, 4 kills for Unicorns of Love with a 6th position. At 7th we have Too Easy with 4 kills, Arcred the 8th place finish with 4 kills for Romanian Men, 2 kills and a 9th position. At 10th we have GSG Europe with 1 kill, Power unfortunately went out at 11th with no kill. Also no kill and out early is Hate Gaming. Panda got 2 kills before going out at 13th place. At 14th we have ScrimFarm with 1 kill. New era, it's a hard game for them, lost quite a few early, and will be them taking the 15th place and 1 kill in the 2nd game of the night. And we will go on to that short break. I think I have some pleasant surprise for all of you. In the jungle of Sanhok, we may just have some very pleasant change. I will just preserve that for a little bit, and I'll see you all in the jungle, guys. I will be right back. Stay around. Hello guys, welcome back to the game 3 of tonight's finals. I've got some surprise for you, I did say it, so I'm just gonna wait for that to come through. It will come at its own pace, I'm sure, and yes, this is time. Reveal.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages? It's your boy ImPERium, and yeah, I'm here to do a cheeky little bit of co-casting.
Fresh, coming back. Do you just get off the plane today, ImPERium? Like, just came
yeah,
back.
I arrived home today. I've been awake since. Actually, I haven't slept bar in like an hour or so on the airplane. So yeah.
That is professionalism, guys, if I don't know the passion for casting, as I should say. But let's get this game started, and we will get to hear more from ImPERium as we have this plane path going from Townbank through Quarry towards the Lakawi area.
Oh boy. Yeah, so Sanhok, obviously it's a map that we all know is the smallest map in PUBG Mobile. It's a pain in the ass. Let's be fair, because of the fact that you've got so many rivers and bridges that really do force a certain level of uncertainty and dictation on how teams rotate. There is a way to play around the map. I'll say it before and I'll say it again. There is always a way to play around Sanhok, but you've got to be fast. You've got to be calculated. And you really, on your engagements, you can't waste any time.
Exactly. And that is also, when you talked about that size of the map, right, that is the key thing, because we always talk about predictions. If we want to play a slow early game, like if it's a very eastern plane path, we can go towards the west. But this smallest map, 4 kilometers times 4 kilometers, that means any player can be anywhere. Okay, and that will come down to the basics of the players to see how they use the knowledge of a particular rock even when they are going on these rotations. And we have some contested drop happening over at Heartin between Hate Gaming and Too Easy. ImPERium, take it away.
Yeah, both teams dropped pretty much the same time. What I do like about Hate Gaming is that they seem to have initially dropped a little bit closer together to each other, which I do overall prefer. A little bit of a 2-2 split between Michi and Swave, close to each other. You have Fox further back. Beast, I do worry about his current position, which is across the road. I would feel it. On one hand, it's great because he's providing that flank angle potential, that extra pair of eyes on a certain point of view. But should the rest of the team get engaged upon and he's kind of stuck there, there is that fear that it could go horribly wrong. So we'll have to wait and see. Once Hate Gaming are aware of that, they'll be able to hopefully their playstyle will suit that.
Yeah, and there's also about the loadout of Beast. Of course, we chat about things like this another day, right? Like before, you need to rock whatever weapons you're given, but he's got that mutant in hand with absolutely no meds. So my fear for Beast is that he can only strike for once if he gets shot at, and that will be him losing the window. So he has to pick that prime time to strike, is what I'm saying here.
Yeah, but to me, Beast isn't the one that should be taking the shots. He should just be an extra pair of eyes giving any relevant information over his two team. The only time he should be shooting is if another player from his team gets the first knock onto Too Easy. For Too Easy, they're definitely playing very, very passive. They're prone down inside those houses. They're not really repositioning at all. Bartika has gone close to the Furia, but I wonder how much Outro is really providing to his team in terms of cover, as Beast does wrap around very close. So it's a little bit of a pincer attack, as Swave is going to be on the coastal line in the opposite direction of Beast. Fury is prone down. Tika's actually gone into the water, so seems like Too Easy are not looking for this fight.
Yeah, it's also down to the fact that they've got Reflect really far from them as well, just down south, 500 meters away, if not more. So that will not be, he will not be in position to support. And let's quickly go through these drop locations as well. We've seen these times repeating those, and the Unicorns of Love going back to Tambang Ruins area. In Sami, we have Qodex. In Camp Charlie, we have Respect. But let's pause that for that little bit, because Too Easy will take this fight after all.
The lovely initial knock from Fury onto Michi, but it's going to be countered somewhat. Beast did get that knockdown onto Fury, but it was Outro on the off angle that came on through. Reflex has gotten into the vehicle. He's made his way in. That's where I think it's a little bit of miscommunication when Tika jumped into the water so easily. He didn't really have to do that, but it's going to work out in their favor. And it's a clean squad wipe, and that's going to be Too Easy coming out on top, and Hate Gaming get compounded into the ground.
Oh my lord, Reflect. With the reflex, just knowing that position, we did say he's a bit too far. And we always talk about vehicles on Sanhok, saying that you may just give away too much audio cues. But if there's a time to use it, this is definitely one of that. Too Easy with the upper hand, the first squad wipe on this Game 3 on Sanhok.
Looking over, there's a little bit of a fight between Fazer Clan and Warlords. Fazer Clan, a side that I've been watching pretty closely over the last couple of weeks throughout this league, the qualification process, the semi-finals, and they've definitely impressed me at times. Warlords, formerly known as Inside Games, they seem to have evolved themselves, being able to take multiple fights and also be quite controlling in these games. Sanhok is the map you do need to be the most controlling in my eyes, because of how small that map is. Initial knockdowns onto a few of the Fazer Clan players is going to stop this for now, but Dale is going to wrap around. He's repositioned. He hasn't really been spotted. Cozy going up against Dale is going to be a lovely clean knockdown, but the counter knockdown comes on through off the back of that revive onto Jizu, but Jizu has no time in his hands, although just as I say that, Backfire doesn't seem to be wanting to go for that. So I've got to ask, was that really miscommunication from Warlords, Tarzan, where like Dale went for the engagement, but Backfire is like, no, I don't want to go for it.
It's really hard to say. I think Backfire has a little bit of the elevation, so he can maybe peek through this ridge that Fazer Clan is holding there. So Dale, but I do think that is also an aggressive push. He's trying to what's the word? Capitalize on that. Yeah, on that window for the revive, but they. Bear in mind, they have lost 2 members early, so they have chosen to take this 2v4 after 3 good knocks onto Fazer Clan. And that will be Dale paying for that price, and that is Backfire, the last one in this game for the Warlords. And Fazer Clan will get most of the revives, 2 team kills from that one pre-pod will go out. So a 1v3 if they want to continue with this, but I really doubt that, ImPERium.
Just gonna pan on over to kind of the southern side of this phase 1. We do have Rexpect. I actually don't know the team.
Arcred is the name.
Remember the team names. As the team stakes are also fighting. So it's a 2-2 split from Rexpect. However, one of them has been knocked down. It's phase 1, so it's not really gonna do too much in terms of blue zone damage. It will just tickle them a little bit. What's important is that Caster and Nacho on top of the high ground is going to look to suppress down on the bottom of the hill the members of ARC. Arc is going to have 1 player taken out, so it's 4 against 3 in this little bit of a firefight.
Rexpect with the upper hand. I think they thought about this before even engaging. The 2-2 split with the sandwich will give them the upper hand. Beautiful knock from Nacho onto one of the players of Arcred, and Arcred has just... That is another knock. They already lost Penchik early, so it will be 2 on their feet, and will hopefully get out of this sandwich situation.
I know, Tarzan. I think they're screwed. Honestly, to be fair, I think they're screwed. The only way they're getting out of this is if Rexpect decide to let them go. But if I was Rexpect, again, remember what I talked about in terms of how quick you want to close out those engagements. Yeah, it's only phase 2. Yeah, they still got a minute until the blue zone closes in. But the longer they leave it, the harder it's going to be to secure a solid spot in going into phase 3. So I think Rexpect want to close out this fight sooner rather than later.
Yeah, especially if they want to go for a pretty straight rotation in the circle, right, ImPERium? Knowing that area between Pineart and Quarry, a lot of teams like to take that hill. They want priority. So coming in late to them might mean just running into the traps, but this is time for Rexpect to strike as we speak. That is Sparta trying to land some shots, will feel some pain on return. Papi looting on the outside will bait out some shots. There is another one onto Arcred, and they're trying to hold it from the side. Bardot is here to stop another peak from Arcred. Arcred down to basically 1, because Mandarin will get the heal up actually, and will get a brilliant knock. Oh my god, Mandarin will try to strike again. There's Scorpion trying to make that much ranging out, but trying to bite too much, more than they can chew there, as Rexpect wrap this fight up eventually. Oh my god.
It was definitely a bad call by Bardot to hang around outside of that door on his own. It should have been him and Papi together to secure that counter knock, but because he was on his own, he got knocked down, he got finished straight away, which was the right thing to do when you're the side of Arcred, because you know your back's against the wall, so you got to secure some amount of points. By all means, a good engagement across the board for Rexpect, but there was no reason for them to have lost one of their players. I also saw on the kill feed Unicorns of Love, I believe, getting a little bit of engagement onto Lakonostra Power, putting Lakonostra Power down to just Senzo hanging inside those buildings, well inside the circle. So that's one positive thing, but because he's on his own, a little bit of snaking is going to have to come on through.
Yeah, like Lakonostra having a tough night, and I think they had some trouble through the semis as well. And bear in mind, those who have watched the past few days, 12-18 was actually pretty high up the leaderboards, but they won't be playing tonight, and that will be the reason why Lakonostra is in this. But nonetheless, a very experienced team, and we have action breakout everywhere. Fazer Clan, the round 2, the problem coming through. Koze is not. Suzy had 10 HP.
Oh man, Fazer Clan just can't seem to catch a break, to be fair. It seems like a few of their players have spent more time on their knees in this game than rotating and repositioning, but that's the way the cookie crumbles when you kind of drop and play around the center of the mainland. They do have Bloodline coming in from their east. There is also the last player of New Era close by on there. The next circle shifts on through, and it's a painful southwest shift because not only is it just far away from most of the teams, it is still very much a question of what area of Sanhok is it going to end up on, the mainland, the Northwest Island, or the Southwest Island. If I was Unicorns of Love, I would straight fire rotate or send 2 players, 3 players down to the trifecta compound because I really think that could be a very controlling area for them.
I 100% agree. With this type of circle, that is where they farm. That is how they control and get not just like fire lines, but also information in a sweet position in the circle. And that will be for them to do right now. If they don't claim it, I think Too Easy may contest this because they are rotating it from the northwestern island. They were hanging around there because we all know how painful it can be if it go onto those mountains. But so also coming through from that direction is ScrimFarm, sharing a similar idea and maybe trailing pretty far back. We have Panda. We haven't seen them quite a lot this game, but that will be it. These teams will be a lot of congestion, we have to say, ImPERium, on that northeastern side of the map as well.
Yeah, definitely. Too Easy seemed to be one step ahead across the board, but then again, they landed on Northwest Island. They stayed on Northwest Island. Therefore, their rotation on this kind of circle is overall a lot easier. The one fear is that when you stick too close to a coastline on that Northwest Island, you can still get attacked and shot at from the mainland or even the Southwest Island. So as you edge closer, you just got to think about that a little bit more. ScrimFarm, you touched upon them. They seem just very, very kind of hesitant of moving from that riverside or from that coastal line, coming from the river, because they know that, look, as it's Sanhok, teams could be anywhere and everywhere.
And I really like what Too Easy is doing here, ImPERium. They know that they have some entry points. Ticket is there to scout towards center zone, so he will hold that position down to look at trifecta. But they also know, I'm thinking, Too Easy knows team don't want to charge through boot camp, right? So if they want to go across to come in, the side of Outro and Reflect is there to stop that completely. And I really like what they're doing based on that.
I also love the rotation from Rexpect, where they opted to go onto that Northwest Island early on and then come in on the southern edge of the circle. But as we see them gonna take on a little bit of fight against Qodex, they do lose a player away from Qodex, is knocked down, so it is down to just 2 more players of Qodex. As the Revive is looking to get pulled on through, that's going to be the case. So it is going to be a 3v2 fight between those 2 teams.
Good thing is they have a position in the circle. I can't imagine Rexpect pulling that fight that we saw earlier, right, ImPERium, to be even later. That is the prime time to strike. I agree. They shouldn't have lost one, but that was the time to strike. So we'll give them one that. Hopefully they can come out of this fight okay. But that will be... Yeah, Cast to make it into the house, and they will get that reef reset and will be a 3v3. And we also see Unicorns of Love showing the power of the trifecta as they knock some players across, putting some pain into Team Pain's reflex.
And on the next circle shift, yes, it goes up northeast, which is, hey, I feel for it, but the benefit is that the teams that kind of have waited a little bit long time to rotate on that north east side have kind of benefited from that shift. But Unicorns of Love stay in the trifecta compound, allow everybody else on the mainland to kind of fight amongst each other, and then you can just control the final circles of this game. In my opinion, Unicorns of Love have done exactly what I thought and what I hoped that they would do, and it should, all things considered, lead to a very strong performance in Sanhok from that team.
I'm looking at Team Pain right now, ImPERium. Like, you see that 1-2 split? Big and Reflex kind of had themselves pinched behind that rock. And that type of cover, the security that it provides will change. It will go down incredibly as time goes on. If I were them, I would try to move up to this cliff with a little bit of an overlook so they didn't get shot from the back from all those teams rushing down that hill. And that is also the job of Inoue, maybe, if he can come in closer to secure that rotation so they don't lose these two members just from one spray.
Bloodline getting very close to two of the members of 4 Romanian Men. 4 Romanian Men are still a full squad, but all things considered for Phase 4 and Sanhok, it's quite a wide 2-2 split, and I don't agree with it, to be fair. The last player of Lakonostra Power has been eliminated. He was hiding in on his own. It was only going to be a matter of time, let's be fair and honest about it. But now Sushi and Dexter are just staying prone down inside those small little shacks. Will Bloodline be aware? Are they prepared to get peekabooed inside those buildings and get caught out?
This might be time. Sushi has made the move. That will be the knock on to Kapahala. Sushi with a quick maneuver will loop back outside. Dexter needs to be here to guard the ankle, but he goes so low as well. Where is the support? It's basically non-existent. Rana is too far to do this, but it's also in the area. Maybe, okay, I am tripping a little bit, sorry. And that will be just a quick 2-piece by Bloodline without losing any players because Rana's just not quite close enough to help with that fight.
Great response by Rana. Great response by... Sorry, not great... great reaction coming out from Bloodline. And that was what you get for 2-2 split this stage of the game in Sanhok. Unicorns of Love did actually send 2 players across the river early on that circle shift into the mainland, which, hey, I can't disagree with that at all. Painter still on a 1-1 split. You have the side of Lao and what is GSG Europe. They've changed their team tags, so that's why I was a little bit confused about that. They're still in boot camp, which I don't disagree with, but when you do disengage away from boot camp, you're kind of pretty flat out in the open for longer than you would like to be, so we'll have to see how they do survive on that. Too easy stayed on a northwest island. Qodex are still on that southwest island, and hey, we still have 11 teams, 32 players.
And that is just Sanhok for you, baby. That is just how the game is being played. And I love Unicorns of Love rotation. You mentioned it. That split, I think the hard one, ImPERium, is to do that split, but knowing when to group back up again. And that is them actually making that move early, allow them to just say, I'm just going to retreat from this western side. We will be full on grouped on that eastern side of that river to stop all those rotations from coming through, and we have more teams trying to get into easy, trying to be going for a swim, and ScrimFarm is under immense pressure right now.
Yeah, too slow to rotate. You pay the price. GSG Europe opting to go for the coastal line of that mainland, which does make sense. There's a good few more rocks that you can go little by little into the edge of the circle, but there's a golden goose side waiting to stop them entering. It's both Pain and a little bit of Too Easy, but Too Easy are more swimming with the fishes as of right now. The shots are being fired up. The strikes are coming on through. GSG Europe are running out of time. They're running out of lives, and the blue zone is going to be part of their impending doom unless they make something of this, unless they start firing up. One knockdown, second knockdown, one more to go before the strike comes on through. Grenade is going to be fired up by Levy, but again, Smokes is giving them a little bit of time, but Pain knows they have him in their sights, and that squad wipe can cleanly come on through. That's it, down by the rock, sticking together, good stuff gonna have from Pain, and that's gonna be job done. Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your Aunt. Pain stick together and make it work in their favor.
And that is them with the rotation away from those rocks that we mentioned earlier, actually working out for Team Pain, but how long will that matter? Vic is not right now. They are down to Inoue and Reflex. They're onto one side, but not quite having a position in the circle. If we look at the landscape right here, they might not be getting to the next part of safe ground without getting punished from Fazer Clan, who is holding the high ground right now. Meanwhile, with all those happening on the side, Too Easy has made that swim in, and now seems like they've got a great formation, but the problem is they are in the water.
Hey, look, if it helps them get a second or a third, happy days. They're really not going to be unhappy about that one. The thing about Fazer, they may hold on to the high ground, but they are not in the circle bar one of their players. The good thing for them is that the teams around them are kind of a little bit busy. They're a little bit distracted. Down the hill, Kosei goes. Push on 4 comes on through. Great job by Jizu to help confirm that squad wipe onto the side of Team Pain. Too easy, do lose one of their players. We're down to our final 6 teams. Qodex is still across on the southwestern side of this river. And what did I say about Unicorns of Love? I said this was going to be a good, successful game. They only have 5 kills, but in my eyes, full squad up out of the 11 total players left. That is their game. If they lose it, it's going to be a huge throw in my eyes, but it should be a highly successful chicken dinner for themselves, not to think too much into the future.
Especially when they get a circle like this, you just have to take those win. I think they deserve it, but there's still so many chances. I think that the time for when Too Easy come back up onto, it can change things. And that is a beautiful note onto Ked. And that is going to be Unicorns of Love maybe losing some time to try to support that. That can be the time for Fazer Clan to come on in. Susie now has already claimed that anchor's point in the new circle.
Where's the grenade? Susie, surely you must have some kind of grenade that you can throw toward that rock. I think it's kind of a little bit silly that they've gone for the revive onto Ked and Maya, but they made it work simply off the back of the fact that there's no real grenades being utilized by the side of Fazer. Too Easy are going to get taken out. Too Easy down to 1 player. Qodex is also down to 1 player. No, make that 0. We're into our final 3 teams. Ked, after getting revived up, is going to look for Susie. Revenge is a dispenser. It's Sanhok, baby. That's going to be it. Another kill. And now it's just a fishy, the final fishy in the sea, as Furia is waiting, hoping that something happens where all of the Unicorns of Love members throw. That is not the case. And Unicorns of Love win in Sanhok.
Well, that is not even the caster luck, baby. It's just them playing, as we said. So that is them deserving that one. It's very textbook, but textbook done well is what we like, ImPERium. Yeah. That is Unicorns of Love showing strong in this one. They didn't have the sweetest games before. They've got some tough games. Maybe you will be the lucky charm. They can probably provide you with something after that one. So that is pretty intense. So nothing new for us. And that is also Too Easy coming up stronger, okay, in this game with a 6-kill second place finish. That swim actually could have been very scary, but I think they timed it right, so they were rewarded for that. Fazer Clan with a lot of frags. We saw them up on the kill feed again and again. A lot of small rotations, good pincers, small fights, but making it work for them. But the circle was not in their favor. Nonetheless, taking 11-kill third place.
Like, you've in the top 3, you've got 2 opposites when it comes to how you play Sanhok. So on one hand, Unicorns of Love, the way they succeeded in the Sanhok game, bar the fact that, yeah, the circles were definitely tricky, but every single time the circle shifted, Unicorns of Love were the first team to react. Whether it was sending 2 players over onto the trifecta island and then the whole squad, and then whether it was then sending 2 players across on the next circle shift, every single shift they reacted extremely quickly, which allowed them to, it gave them more time to get information, it gave them more time to be controlling, and of course it gave them more time to think in a calmly manner. Whereas on the opposite side, when you look at Fazer Clan, they played Sanhok in the aggressive, controlling kind of edges circle manner, right? I talked about it midway through the game. Fazer seemed to have more time. When I say on their knees, I didn't mean it like in a bad way, in the sense of they would get knocked down, but they get back up again, and they clawed and fought and battled their way through Sanhok in the way teams have to if you're going to get the better of that map and claim some sort of solid victory. So credit where it's due to both those teams specifically.
Yeah, 2 very different style adapted to what's the circle has been given to them, right? But I think the theme, if I can rephrase that as well, ImPERium, is that teams, especially when they play Sanhok, they can't be half-hearted, right? They want to do that thing, they have to just go for it. If they are just lingering in the middle, not sure what to do, not being decisive enough, that will just stab them in the back, right? And that will be a wrap for our game 3, and we will have another one with the man himself, ImPERium, with us. We will go back to Erangel later on. Do not leave, because that is going to be crazy. I will see you all just in a few minutes. Hey, how's it going, guys? Are you guys ready for some Game 4 action? We are back to Erangel, and of course, ImPERium missed our first Erangel game, so he is here to look at these teams maybe fighting over those same spots the second time. ImPERium?
Oh yeah, I'm here. I'm here. First of all, can I just have an F in the chat for Vikendi, and the loss of Vikendi? Because that was my favorite map, to be perfectly honest. So I'm a little bit sad, but it is what it is. Heading on over to his final game in Erangel. We've had 3 games so far. Qodex won game 1, as you gratefully informed me. Fazer won game 2, and Unicorn's Love won game 3. The instant standout that I kind of take from that is that Fazer Clan showing a bit of consistency, right? Winning game 2 and coming third in game 3. That's pretty strong in my eyes.
I think they show the same type of consistency like the past 2 days as well. So we have to give them that. And it's so important to recognize that coming into the new PMCO Spring season, like some of the old names may get may not be there anymore. Teams get a new roster, new chemistry, new drop locations, and we will get to see that tonight as well, as we have this brutal playing path ImPERium. You do it. I can't do it anymore. I've seen too many of these.
It's a painful playing path, simply because of the fact that you are so forced to pretty much look for vehicles, or if you do have, which you should, utilize a secondary drop spot. We can instantly see the majority of the teams dropping to the north of that plane path, right? Simply because they want to grab those vehicles to access whether it's George Paul, Pachinki, School, Roshawk, etc. Panda have dropped them Primorsk, which is pretty good because it's a very solid early drop for them, which means they're going to be able to loot up quick, move out quick, reposition quick, depending on where the circle is.
I think a lot of these teams obviously adapted to that. I tell you one thing that you didn't watch, ImPERium, it's Bloodline. They dropped in military base alongside Too Easy in game 1, and they were the first team out. And they have now swapped it. But what is this split? Look at them. The 4x1 split. Basically, all players except Carno has a team next to themselves.
Oh my lord. Oh my lord. Pain under a little bit of pressure at the hands of Kapahala of Bloodline. Huge fan of Kapahala. He has such a good history in Europe, and really looking forward to hopefully what him and the Bloodline team can achieve across 2021. He's on his own for now, as the whole of Pain did drop together, so it's a very strong initial drop spot for Pain, whereas Bloodline are a little bit disconnected, where even one of their players are pinched by the members of GSG Europe.
This has that spot. He just need to not make a sound right now. Potentially buy time. We see Carno on that car right now, can maybe stab GSG Europe from the back because of the landscape of Quarry, but that I'm really skeptical about that one, as we have Aethys just deciding to fight after all, trying to use their M762 to shoot the rotating members, now crashing in. They want to take the 4v1, and Delito leading the way, just patiently shooting from the outside, and the rest slowly pushing up another level up that they still have to go, and that will be Aethys coming short on that one, and it's just what we expect. And that is also the early game that they need to remember, the amount of parachutes that they can see in that wandering distance. Carno did come in, but was a little bit too late, and that is him rotating away in his US.
And to be a little bit critical, let's be fair, that was a really silly decision that Bloodline did as a team to even split drop in this kind of situation. If it's a normal, more central playing path where teams are generally able to spread out a lot more easily, yes, split dropping on the western side of the map is viable. We've seen teams do it plenty of times before, but when it was so heavily down south to the point where teams were automatically going to go up north and then somebody drop as a team on that western side of the map, it was just law of percentages that tells you there's a much higher chance you were going to get caught out, and that was the case. Bloodline, in my eyes, are actually lucky that they only lost one player in that.
Completely agree. I think that is just them trying to adapt to not to fight too easy, like for round 2 first off. I've seen them drop here before, but this is the type of drops that you have to have really good communication when you are still flying before the shoot's even open. You have to come up with the plan B if there are other teams in the area. And like you said, losing one, I think they should be considered lucky, because Team Pain, like New Era, likes South Georgia Pool, and they will just grab a car and go back there. And with low percentage that you mentioned and share with me before as well, that means the northern parts of this phase 1 circle, although still slightly off the western side, but will allow a lot of these areas on the north part to be open early. But New Era and Pain loves Georgia Pool so much they are already there. Same for Unicorns of Love, back to Gatka.
Yeah, pretty standard stuff for Unicorns of Love. Very much complements their drop spot with this phase 1 circle, so they won't be unhappy about that. Atomics, the manager of Unicorns of Love, just messaged me on Discord saying we need you to win. So look at the Irish is on their side. Bless their cotton socks. For teams that are also looking to kind of rotate in, and when you're thinking about positioning on this phase 1, you have the hills just above the Western Bridge and Ferry Pier area, which automatically has a lot more kind of protection, which you're going to be able to overlook the northern side of this phase 1, where Unicorns of Love, 4 Romanian Men are kind of converged around. So I reckon that kind of hillside will be quite strong in this phase 1. Everest is also a very solid area especially based on what you touched upon with the fact that it was such a southerly playing path, that there's a higher chance that the northern side of this phase 1 is relatively unoccupied or just quiet, right? And then you're also looking at Chinky Hill will also be a great spot for Fazer Clan to initially rotate to.
Yeah, but getting to these positions, I think, would be the ideas of teams like ScrimFarm and Lakonostra Power, but they will just fight and clash before even getting there. Both of them just basically clashing in cars, like bumpy cars, like back to those like times of my life playing those. But this is the time. It looks like an arcade game that they were doing just now, and that is Lakonostra losing that one, losing Danny and Inori so quick, and that is ScrimFarm in the middle, splitting Lakonostra apart. They have a very rough night so far.
Yeah, and I'm not, that's in my eyes no like directly real fault of Lakonostra. Yeah, maybe they could have rotated like a bit more north, but again, considering the playing path, they were better off going kind of a bit more north rather than going down south, per se. As it happens, in this situation, the south of where they did rotate towards, as in farm area, and that road from farm to Pachinki is unoccupied, but they don't know that. So they were just going based on, hey, it makes sense that the north is going to be a lot safer.
And that is also teams trying to hold on to the power positions, not just that side, but on the western side as well. Of course, Panda drop Primos, and they know that side of the map. Bloodline, if you decide to drop southwestern, I assume you do as well. And that is them trying to contest onto some power positions on this western side. XT from Panda is knocked by Bloodline, trying to get that revive right now. Bloodline, the 3, still holding strong. Kano losing quite some HP, holding that angle there with that AK. And for the rest of the center zone, Unicorns of Love have a pretty good spot. And for Romanian Men, close to the Gatka chopsticks, Pachinki Hill, like ImPERium mentioned, Fazer Clan is there, maybe stopping some of these teams rotating through the northern parts. And that we have Qodex coding those used to be the 6 yellow houses, right? So they are holding that one and going through. Hedgehog Valley right now is Hate Gaming, pulling off from Rozok, finally making that move.
Yeah, rotating through Hedgehog Hills or Hedgehog Valley, however you want to call it, is always, pretty sensible to begin with, because even though it's an open area, there's a lot of hills and that you're able to kind of, change around and spread out as a full team and get a bit of information as you look to push in. The fear is that, aside of the fact that Beast has just been confirmed and taken out, the fear is that on this kind of circle, Hedgehog Hills is not a good position to stay in, because you really get no information on the western or the central part of this phase 1. So for Hate Gaming, what they're better off doing, if they can, which unfortunately is becoming harder due to the fact that Swave just got knocked down, they should look to maybe head towards Watertown and then wrap around on the northern side of the river and come in via Everest would be much safer.
That is another knock in. We saw one gone, and that is Swave the second knock by Fowler from the off angle. Qodex wants to push this, and they will just full send this actually. And just actually get a third knock onto Fox as well. They know the time ImPERium. They know we killed when we knock another one and we're going. They didn't even wait. And that is such a surgical removal of teams coming through Headshot Hills. As you mentioned, that compound, those houses itself was not enough. Qodex knows they need a better angle. They held the multiple angles to cover all those ridges that Hate Gaming was trying to hide behind, and that is Qodex being rewarded for the really, really well thought out and executed tactic. 3 kills up for them, Hate Gaming down to 1.
It's just a very well calculated early game aggression and control that came out from Qodex. Simple as that. There's really not much more to be said about it. It was well executed, well timed, and now they can focus a bit more on this phase 2 because phase 2 did shift over into northeast. Headshot Hills and the compound to the west of Headshot Hills does become a lot more viable. New Era, they rotated onto this area of Everest, but guess what? Pain also went there. So we got 2 teams on Everest. Who's going to become the king of the mountain? Currently, you know, he's going to get initial shots onto Musket, but because of the support that's coming out from the back line of Pain, he's going to have to step back behind that rock after taking a bit of damage.
And that is only the trio, by the way, by New Era. The last one was trying to scout a little bit more onto that eastern side, but the support needs to come in now or never. Carrillo going very low behind that ridge there. This is a time to practice or to showcase your skills with those grenades. That is exactly the opportunity they need to open the fight with that knock.
Lovely either side spread that's coming out from Pain. You have Inaju coming in from the sidelines. It's a lovely grenade that has been popped off of Kobe onto Vic to get that knockdown. That's going to suppress the members of Pain. Musket, he's very close to the edge of that rock, and I think he's doing a great job of also suppressing New Era on his own.
They're pushing it.
Is there going to be enough to get that revive coming on through? Miss Musket does indeed get the initial knockdown, as I said. The revive has been pulled off. The switcheroo, but 50-51 gets a double knock, and it's going to be 50-50. Dead in the water as Pain are down to their final. Actually, sorry, not their final player, because Musket is still alive, but he's on his own. He's kind of got nowhere really to run. He prones on down, gets a little bit by the side of the rock, but his teammate, his only teammate able to do anything in this game, is much further away from him. Musket has done a great job on his own, but when you have that double knockdown that comes on through from 50-51, god damn it, that's hard to hold on to.
And that is round 2. This time, New Era is still holding down. And Nui, I thought he had the off angle. He had the cover fire. That is how they got Carrillo down. But this time, not quite close. And the ties have changed. The tables have changed. This is New Era. Now 2 versus 1. Pushing Nui. Is he going to take this one? He is still in the area trying to clear this with a nade, but not close to support or revive any of his teammates.
50-51 single-handedly winning this fight, or the majority of this fight, for his side. He's the one that has gotten the 3 knockdowns onto the members of Pain. He got that third, should I say, a jump shot knock onto Musket. It sent the final player of Pain down the western edge of Everest, but GSG Europe are there. They're on that compound down on the outside of Everest. Could end up taken out unless Enu can just stay prone down.
And that is a good position by Rafik. The very typical spot to scout Everest, as well as keeping an eye on this open field. So that is GSG doing the homework, using the experience as well. And the Gatka can also be very interesting. We know there's an abundance of compounds, including the chopsticks themselves. And that is quite a congested area. We have Fazer Clan around there. Bloodline still wants to play split. Excuse me. I will need to see how they showcase their skills doing that. It might be just Kapahala trying to scout the compound, and that is him paying the price. Just doesn't take 2 seconds for us to find that out too easy in that compound, stopping that from Kapahala, and that will be Bloodline potentially down to 2, and that is confirmed. They are down to Shadow and Carno.
Yeah, again, silly stuff coming out from Bloodline in my eyes. When you're down to 3, your playstyle has to change, your strategies has to change, and you sticking as a 3-man team and not scouting on your own becomes way more viable and becomes way more of an option. They can stick now as a 2-person team on the southwestern edge of the circles. The next phase is going to show up, and my God, sweet Mary, Mother of Jesus, that shift up the northeast to the point where it still holds on to the northern edge of the circle. That is honestly a big gigantic kick in the face for all these teams. But I tell you who it's benefited. Rexpect, because they did what maybe Lakonostra should have done, right? They went on the northern side of the river. They went for like a wild rotation. They went for a Sunday drive through around the shooting range area and then wrapped in down by the east of George Paul. And guess what? It's worked out in their favor. They are set up for this next shift.
Rexpect's just showing a lot of strings doing wide rotations. They like going Novo. They will go there. And they can sometimes get like choked on the other side, but they can find a way in every time. And they should be rewarded for that. And the thing right now is I'm really looking forward to how they want to play this. Which compound is strong? And that is something that I've been thinking about. That is to leave 1 or 2 at that squad house where Papi is holding to the east of the South Georgia crates to put some damage onto the teams rotating, also passing the information on. If Papi does his job right, he can push these teams to rotate to the other side of the bridge, and they can just send them into the hands of his other 3 teammates on the other side of the bridge.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I do think it's a wasted spot having 1 player in that compound. We'll have to wait and see. The fight that is going to break out, that is going to be very interesting, I feel will break out, is the fight between 4 Romanian Men and Qodex. It was a great rotation for 4 Romanian Men to go all the way over to this compound that's outside of ruins. It gives a lot of information and sightlines onto the northern side of the river while allowing them to be protected from teams that are actually up on the hills outside of Everest, and allows them to get a lot of information on any team that is around the ruins in the church area of ruins, which in this case is Qodex. So good job for Romanian Men.
And that spot itself is, yeah, of course, it's very strong. I personally, when I play Ruins, there's one concern I have. I know there's a church there. I know there's a high ground bit, but it's this escape strategy of getting back out on the next shift. So that is just another consideration that these teams need to make. Unicorns of Love also, along this main road, they claimed this compound around a minute and two minutes ago, I think, and they are in position to maybe stop some of these teams, particularly for those teams that are still coming in through Everest and also the southwestern edge. Panda is there. We haven't seen them quite a lot to this game.
I haven't seen them too much. They stay fairly quiet. Fazer Clan actually wrapping around into blue on the North George bridge, but I fear it's a little bit too much. It's a little bit too late of a wild rotation to the point where teams are already going to be on the western edge by the north of the river. You have Warlords that's also wrapped around on the northeastern side of the circle, and they found a place that they want to call home. Too Easy are spread on a 2-2 split. GSG Europe are going to be one of the teams that possibly can circle camp decide of Fazer Clan, and Fazer Clan try and find their way in. The next phase is about to pop up. It centers up quite nicely, but the risk is that there is still that uncertainty of, is it going to be on the north of the river or the south of the river?
I think regardless, Rexpect just has such a sweet spot. They make the bet. They found that compound and they can farm from that one. We know that compound. You just watch east and northeast from there. You will just look at teams, will force them away, and they would just clash on the eastern side like what's going on right now. That is Too Easy on Warlords on the eastern side, not trying to push towards that compound that Rexpect is holding, and they will just clash. So many teams went for those wide rotations, as you said, and Fazer Clan once again one step behind all these teams that's trying to do the same thing. ScrimFarm
also looking pretty good on the eastern side of this circle, still up as a full squad. They have that lower part of the river that's kind of protecting them and allowing them to peek up and take shots. They have a little bit of a shack that is protecting them from the likes of 4 Romanian Men down on the southern side of the river, but they have to try and take those couple of kills and get those shots off on board as 4 Romanian Men. Warlords Too Easy. The fight ensues up the northeast side of this circle.
Outro trying to send it in. I think they've made up their mind. They just want to send it into the river. That is Outro trying. Like we see some of these players do, they know they can sit in the backseat of the car and they can shoot and heal from there. And that seems to be the plan for Too Easy as they lost ticket on rotation. Fury using, he's got very, a lot of meds though, but only to find himself getting knocked again, so that we have Too Easy down to the 2 swimmers. Let's have a look at the rest of the circle. Unicorns of Love didn't make that rotations quite early enough, and those 2 teams still stuck on Everest. Panda rotating in the southern edge, already getting punished.
Yeah, I think that's okay, because I think there comes a point where the circle keeps on shifting away, where you just can't play for the center of the circle. You have to play for the edge of the circle. Unicorns Love, they're an aggressive team. They're going to fight their way through, and initially, it's going to be a Kobe. Agon, the golden. Furia comes on through, but Savage X gets pulled out by the snake in the grass. The last player of Panda comes on through, but the shots, the revenge is fresh. Dishes that down, and that is going to be the end of Panda. Unicorns of Love, a little bit lackadaisical from Savage X. You paid the price. You could not presume. You could not presume, unless you see all those kills coming through, you could not presume the area is free for you to just roll in with that vehicle.
That is the price to pay. They lost to, but look at the circle again, ImPERium. It will come back to the southern side. These teams don't want to cross later, and the gods of PUBG said, no, you all come back to this side, and that will give Unicorns of Love a spot with some overlook on this ruins area. But these teams, look at Fazer Clan just alongside other teams needing to send it in. Swim it, drive it, you name it. There is just so many ways, but it's not going to be easy for them.
It's not going to be easy. The fear also is that Rexpect is going to hug that coastline by the river and actually take out Fazer Clan, because it is still a full Rexpect squad. ScrimFarm is still on the north river. I kind of get why they're opting to leave it till the last minute. Too Easy with the grenade inside the vehicle by the river. Gets a lovely clean shutdown on the Fazer Clan. Susie is down on his knees. Knocked down as Cozy and Prebot can really do nothing as of right now in that area by the riverbank and by the river.
Wow, this is a time for other players to really learn how to do it. Look at Reflect just doing so much from that position. It takes practice as well. Oh my god, and that is Fazer Clan losing the anchor point in the circle. Prepot's not quite in, so Too Easy is holding this one, but Outro gets knocked. So I don't know if Reflect can get this. Look at Warlords now sending it through the bridge. They listen to all those gunshots, but Nacho from Respect is there to stop it. He will hold this to do as much damage as possible. And now that Warlords is going further in, the rest of Respect is there with a different position in the circle to stop the Sands trying to thread the needle right now. His car is on fire. His car, and he will be the last one in here for the Warlords through that rotation. Oh my god.
Oh, Sands just pausing the sands of time to find a position inside that circle. Rexpect, I was a little bit surprised that they made that kind of rotation onto the high ground of the last circle. I thought they were going to hug by the riverbank, but credit where it's due. With those vehicles, with that confidence, with them as a full squad, they felt that they could do something with that, and they did work it out. They got at least one kill in that area, and even though they're not inside this current circle, there's a little bit more space that they can move in on the edge.
And that's also down to the skill of the scout, right? Of course, you can't just send the scout there. It's also with the fact that maybe the team is there to watch him as he scouts, and then that is the price to pay. They don't want to play low ground. They don't want to play riverside. That is fair, but the work has to come through, and seems like Respect will get rewarded for doing that properly.
Or Romanian Men at the end of the day have been breathing a sigh of relief at the fact that the circles have consistently shifted in their favor. Qodex are under a little bit of pressure. One of their players getting knocked down, but Lucci is going to clap back hard, getting that counter knock onto Fresh and stopping Unicorns Love dead in their tracks. Another fight is also breaking out as Rexpect is going to find a push. They're going to find the engagement onto GSG Europe after getting the knockdown on Levy. They're instantly responding, but they've got to be careful that they don't go in too deep as Caster and Bardot just fires on up, takes the jump shot, but at the end of the day, it becomes too much, and GSG Europe can't hold on and roar with us. Fires into the circle, still as a 3-man team.
How the heck did that happen? I thought they took that spot for a reason to stop this type of rotation. That is Rexpect with the reflex and will take them down. And just in split seconds, ImPERium, we've got only 5 teams in here. A Fresh from Unicorns of Love. I thought they didn't have a spot, but that cheeky one, he made it in. Got only two bandages though. Got some drinks, and that may help them. Argon's bleeding out on the outside, but like you said, ImPERium for Romanian Men has a good spot for this one. Rexpect has one that they fought for themselves, but Qodex with the definite numbers advantage right here.
Qodex, they won game 1. Can they bookmark it by winning game 4? Then the day 1 of the finals. They're starting off nicely towards this end game. 50-51 though is going to shut down and get that knockdown on the Fowler. Qodex, they need to focus on one specific fight at a time in my eyes. It seems like they're trying to take on too much at once. Look to take down 4 Romanian men by the walls of that compound and then focus on the teams that are on the other side.
And excuse me, there's another team still in there. We almost forgotten about New Era. Their position, like we talked about, those high ground. There's more high ground to it. They can be here to just steal those knocks. They can stab Rexpect from behind. They have a position. They're not too far from them. So if they want to go wide, there is a chance as well. If they want to go clockwise, not easy, but they are in a position to cause severe disruption to the dynamics of this final circle.
But that's why Caster did reposition to try and block that entrance on the eastern side of the circle. The blue zone is closing in. Vineska and 50-51 are sticking together, which is very commendable. But at the end of the day, the blue zone is becoming too much. 50-51 gets knocked. Vineska is surviving by the skin of his teeth, and that kill comes on through at the hands of Caster from Rexpect. Bardot is on a sliver of health. Rana is trying to hold on for dear life, but that finish comes on through at the hands of Qodex. It's a full Qodex squad going up against a solo player of New Era, and the 2-man team of Rexpect climbed in and pushed aggressively 2 circles ago to claim the area inside the circle, and it's favored them extremely well. But can they close it off? Rexpect are in between 2 teams. Play it very carefully.
If I have $100 in my bank account, I would bet it all on Qodex right now because they have a good split. They have a position in the circle. And I think the other interesting one, okay, they just ended my thought there. I thought Vineska might be able to outlive Rexpect, but doesn't matter, it's going to be a 4v2.
Look at the spread, look at the control, look at the push as Rexpect has nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, and Qodex with the full squad wins game 4 in Erangel.
And with the beautiful number of frags as well, 10 kills for Qodex. We've seen them frag so hard, not just tonight. ImPERium, was it 2 days ago? You were in chat. You see how they clutch. They've got players who can play 4v4, 1v4, everything. I will be watching them in this coming season. Qodex with this last win of this day 1 of the finals. Just, I don't know what to say. They are doing so well, but Rexpect. We have to respect what they can do. Like, it's not, I try not to do too much of that type of pun, but honestly, so consistent here, Rexpect Esports.
It honestly, it wasn't just that, but to me, they kind of booked the trend of how they played that end game when the circle shifted away from them. I called that they were going to play by the coastline, but they actually went up north, east of where they were to the higher ground Now, the risk of going there is that it kind of leaves you a little bit more exposed in that highly elevated position because you're a little bit more out in the open to the teams down below. But the benefit for what ended up being their late game was, one, they took out a couple of players that were coming from the Everest direction. But because they were still a full squad, and the second they got the knockdown onto GSG Europe, they pushed that because they knew they had to. Tarzan. And not enough teams do that. Not enough teams do that. They'll hesitate. They'll and ah, but not Rexpect. Yeah, okay, they didn't survive as a full squad, but they won that squad fight and ended up allowing them to claim second place in that game. So that booking the trend from what I expected from them really opens my eyes for the ability that Rexpect have and the level of IGLing that I hope to see from them in the upcoming PMCO and onwards.
It is going to be really exciting. I think like that one, exactly like you talk about, they used that split, those few seconds that the side of GSG Europe might be panicking upon suffering that one knock, and they're already there. They just send it there. And we just take us back for 1 minute as well. They were so on point. They know exactly what they want to do. They have the perfect balance of how to capitalize on the edge as well as getting a spot in the center. We don't see a lot of teams doing that well. So that is such a good thing to see. It's like an art of war of the PUBG, like I always like to say, that we can see some potential for Rexpect here.
Also, Unicorns of Love, I was happy with how they played because, you kind of seem to think that their lack of movement or their lack of reposition into a circle when they allowed Panda to go ahead of them was maybe a little bit bad. That's what it seemed like. So I'm not trying to put words into your mouth, but you were kind of like, oh, wait, that could go against them. But again, kind of like I point out, but to extend on it a little bit, when your team that has to be able to adapt to circle shifts in situations where early game, Unicorns of Love adapted really well to the circle shifts each time by centering up a little bit nicely. But when the hard shift comes through, there's a little bit of a switch that goes off in your mind that kind of says, we aren't going to be able to fight for the center of the circle. So what are we going to do? We're going to play around the edge of the circle. And Unicorns of Love are a very aggressive team.
Yes.
And the edge of circle can really benefit an aggressive team. So yeah, they allowed Panda to go ahead of them. But they knew that.
Yes.
So they just waited for Panda just to kind of like think they're safe. And then Unicorns of Love struck. Yeah, they made a mistake with Savage X 110%. But at the end of the day, that kind of adaptability, that kind of flick of the switch in your head of going from center circle strategy to edge of circle strategy is really strong in my eyes.
Yeah, it's so important. It's not the exact math of it, but if we think about it based on the kill points as well, ImPERium, it's they take 2 or 3 more kill points, and that you don't easily get that unless you get to maybe top 5, top 6. So that will be like the decision, and to factor that in, that will be some of the reasons or rationale going into that type of decision. And yes, and that will be the key thing for these teams, like as they get the new roster for the new season, the new IGLs, etc. It's going to be a really exciting season, man. It's going to be so good. Anything to add?
Just like I genuinely think that the standard of gameplay we're seeing is extremely high, and some of the highest we see, and there's way more teams as well ready to fight and battle in upcoming official PUBG Mobile tournaments. So this is only a taster in my eyes of what is going to come in terms of ability, excitement, action, and just intensity of the tournament. So super excited. But until then, we have to find out who's going to win over the next coming days, who's going to become the champion of this tournament.
Yeah, 3 more days of action, guys, and it's been great. Look at the support in the chat tonight. It's absolutely crazy. Hopefully we'll have the same in the coming 3 days. ImPERium and myself will take some rounds. We will see how to deliver the best that we've got for you. But until then, stay safe. Have a brilliant week and week ahead and a good night. And stay safe as always. And GG's. See you all very soon. Bye-bye.